Indian Hotels Company is the owning company of the Taj brand. I have over here the 8th report on corporate sustainability. It's the 8th report. We call it the Beyond the Numbers. This particular report follows the UN Global Compact GRI guidelines, G3 guidelines, and has been rated as A+. So why? Because for us, as a part of our mother company, the Tata Group, the Indian Hotel Company is also very much following the same procedures and processes from its very inception. To incorporate this as a part of our DNA, and like you rightly said, to say how are we talking about this in our organization and implementing this, we have something called the SHE Committee, S-H-E. Sounds very interesting to the ladies over here. What is the SHE Committee? So who's the president of the SHE Committee? So the SHE Committee is Safety, Health, and Environment. Now, at the corporate level, at the board level, we have a board member of the board who is responsible for the SHE Committee, and the executive director of operations, and he has a director of sustainability. So our corporate structure incorporates corporate sustainability. We have a structure, we have people, we have an outfit within the organization that concentrates on this aspect only, which is corporate sustainability. And we have a director of corporate sustainability and corporate responsibility. Now, what we do is like, all of you are experts, and I'm not going to attempt to talk about what is the importance of triple bottom line, etc. But what I would like to talk about is the impact that we've had on the society. The Tata Group is owned by trusts. Most of our profits are, maybe 60% of our group is owned by trusts, and the profits are then plowed back into the various fields. We have Institute of Fundamental Research, we have Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and similarly for the Indian Hotel Company, we have called something called the Taj Welfare Trust. Many of you would remember the horrible images of the Taj Mahal, Mumbai, being subjected to a horrible terror attack. Subsequent to that, the Tata Group and the Taj set up the Taj Welfare Trust. This was not a trust meant for people who were only working in the hotel when the terrorists struck. We lost a lot of our colleagues and a lot of our guests. But this trust addressed the needs of each and every person affected by the terrorist attack. All the families, all the people who lost their lives, the people who were injured, people who were in hospital. Rehabilitation, giving them skills, was our responsibility. We gave them sustenance allowances per day, per month for anybody. You could be a vendor on the street, you could be a taxi driver that evening, or you could have been a bus conductor who got injured in that particular horrible incident. But anybody who was impacted by that terror attack was covered under this Taj Welfare Trust. And till today, we're very pleased to report that till today, we have rehabilitated all of them. We have given them skills, and transfer of skills is one of our key focus areas for community development. We believe in building livelihoods. Building livelihoods is a part of our corporate philosophy. So we made sure we did skills transfers to people, to children who suddenly became orphans, to ladies who suddenly lost their husbands, and gave them skills to start afresh in this world. And I think that is one of the key things that we have been able to achieve and can be proved, and I'm sure you can go to the net and look at the figures and the involvement and the resources. Now, all this can't be done if it's not an organizational effort. All this can't be done if it is just a feeling, it's just a nice thing to talk about. It's not a fad. It's a DNA, it's a part of our life, it's the DNA. This is what our organization has been for over 140 years, and I'm sure will continue to be. At the Taj Samudra, we are very concerned about certain situations that we face. We have, as you know, the awareness for environment has not been that strong in an organization like ours, and especially hotels. A lot of hotels have, in the past, maybe decade or so, started concentrating on environment. And we are an EarthCheck Silver certified hotel. We participate in all activities celebrating the Earth Hour or the World Environment Day, which just went on 5th of June. as an organization, we look at the community. We look at our stakeholders, which are the vendors, the partners, the society, governance, law enforcement agencies, shareholders, and obviously our employees. For our employees, we have something called Year of the Associate Plus, which are a set of over 20 employee engagement activities that we report on. And a very good tool of understanding the result of this. You know, many people make efforts, but what are the results? We monitor employee engagement through the Gallup Employee Satisfaction Survey. I was pleased to inform you that the Taj group of hotels has been, for the third time, placed in the Hall of Fame as far as employee engagement is concerned. And this is a worldwide ranking system for employee engagement. Employee engagement, in our opinion, is extremely critical for the development and growth of the organization, and therefore the sustainability of the organization. We have initiatives which include a lot of things for employees' families, employees' children's education, medical benefits, getting people involved in community and social service, which is all a part of our Year of Associate. So all in all, the Indian Hotel Company, the Taj Samudra, the Tata Group, yes, we are proud of the fact, and thank you for acknowledging that as an organization, we have definitely set the tone and the way for many organizations to follow in the subcontinent. But there's a long way to go. There's never an end. And you asked a very interesting question, which was, what about carbon neutral and what about reporting on carbon credits? We have embarked on this particular journey. We have some of our colleagues, and I can see one of them in the audience, as an organization who have gone way ahead in that. And yes, we have some catching up to do as the Indian Hotel Company. However, having said that, we are quite proud of what we have been able to achieve and inculcate in our DNA as an organization. And we also have an Earth policy, that is EARTH, which is Environmental Awareness and Renewal at Taj Hotels. And that has also been accepted as one of our path-breaking vision statements for environmental awareness and responsibility. So I don't want to take too much time. I've taken more than 10 minutes. So I just want to say that it's a pleasure to address you, and I look forward to taking any specific questions that you may have on any initiative that you feel interests you, or you want to know about any particular area. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rohit. A very comprehensive overview of Taj and its sustainability area. Next, we'll focus on something, a trade that is entirely different, which is in distribution. We have Mr. Subodh Dakwal, who is Managing Director, Lanka IOC PLC, a big player in petroleum. Mr. Subodh is a petroleum expert from Indian Oil Corporation, has joined as the new MD of Lanka IOC. He has vast experience in all the major activities in marketing division of IOC, having worked in various departments like engineering, LPG, sales and operations, and sales and marketing. Subodh, I think you are a multinational and a giant in the distribution business. Your product, I believe, has some impacts on the environment. Any measures taken to mitigate this impact in your operations? I'm sure you do. Also, I would like to know what is your company's view in uplifting the lives of the people around with whom you work. Do you believe that you have to be financially viable in order to drive sustainability? 3 questions. If you'd like to answer them, please go ahead. I have given you this in advance, and try your level best to give us some answers.
Barrage of questions, Mr. Kure. Good evening to you all. I'm Subodh Dakwal. I have very recently taken over as MD with Lanka IOC here. So I have a very limited experience of Lanka, but whatever I have had has been a very warm and very good. Now coming to Indian Oil Corporation, it's a mammoth organization we all know. It's a big multinational organization having almost 7 billion USD as its turnover. Let me tell you that we just don't do petroleum business. We have almost 2% of our profits earmarked for corporate social responsibility. And that is a big amount. Lanka IOC has been formed here with an intention to make petroleum sales, petroleum distribution easy, efficient in this country. We bring a lot of expertise with us. As regards petroleum, there's inherent issues that when you burn the petroleum, you are really polluting the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases emissions, carbon footprints, and they all result into global warming. It's a big environmental challenge. But can we really do without this energy? The answer is no at present, till we are able to find out some real good options to replace this energy, this fossil fuel. And LIOC is not insensitive to this. We are aware that this is contributing to the pollution, to the environmental pollution. And there are, as Mr. Kure asked me about mitigating what measures that we have taken, we have started taking measures in a limited way in Lanka also. Of course, I am very new to this place and not having that experience. But in the year 2010, we really formulated our corporate social responsibility policy. And in that policy, the uppermost thing was how to protect the environment. Protection of the environment, the first thing which comes to mind is to enhance the environment. Again, enhancing the environment, you need to have a lot of trees, vegetation. And with that in mind, we started a Go Green venture. And in that venture, we picked up some 72 odd schools. And from the schools, we picked up around 1,500 students. Those students were asked to plant saplings, one each. That accounted for almost 1,500 saplings. But that was not enough. The saplings had to be nurtured. They had to be taken care of. They had to be monitored so that they grow into a tree and then can really contribute to the atmosphere. And that's why we started giving ₹100 per student per month for nurturing, for owning those trees. This money is not only for a limited period, it is for minimum 3 years, and we would also be looking into it if we can extend it thereafter. The whole project is costing something around 6 million rupees. It has definitely helped us in serving our purpose. The purpose was enhancing the environment, definitely. With the trees that will be growing, will definitely improve the environment. But what is more important and the bigger objective was to bring in the students, the young minds, educate them, energize them, egg them to look into what the atmosphere is, to improve the environment, to make them aware about what are the catastrophes or pollutions. If you see that, I can take my example, about 40 years back, when we were school kids and all, we just did not know what environment and what to do and all this. Today, there has been a lot of awareness, and the awareness, if it comes right at the childhood, then it is long-lasting, it is sustainable. The person, if he is aware at the childhood, when he grows into a very responsible citizen. And that is what we really aimed for, and we really aim for. We have many such initiatives in our mind. Another thing what we are constantly doing is to get into the researches so that we can come out with fuels which are less pollutant, which emit less carbon dioxide or sulfur dioxides and things like that. You must be amazed to know that in Europe only, if you see the transport sector, that contributes to, that emits almost 20% of the carbon dioxide that gets emitted into the atmosphere. So that's why the fuel which is being used needs to be refined, further refined. And we have come out with Euro 3 fuel in Lanka also. In India, we have gone into Euro 4, that is Bharat 4. But in Lanka, we have come out with Euro 3 fuel, which has got only 150 ppm of sulfur, whereas the normal fuel that we have for petrol is having a sulfur of almost 500 ppm. So it is almost 1/3 less pollutant. This definitely costs money, and a lot of money on that. There have been upgradation in our refineries in India, spending almost 3 to 4 billion rupees, billion US dollars in one refinery to make that refinery produce fuel which is less pollutant and friendly to the environment. As regards the second thing that you asked me about, qualitative improvement of the people in general. Yeah, we strongly advocate it. And I firmly believe that the improvement in the quality of the life can be brought right at the childhood stage only. What is required for an improvement in the quality is the basic things that are the food, health, and education. We have picked up education to begin with. Our idea is that if we are able to educate the people, give them right kind of education about their living, their standards, they'll turn out to be better citizens in future. They'll be able to eke out living for themselves. They'll also be able to contribute and influence the others for the good of the community. With that in mind, we again identified two schools and around 140 odd students, and all those underprivileged students, we started giving them education in English, learning, reading, writing. The teachers were eminent teachers, and the whole project has cost something around 1 million rupees. We have been not only having those students taught the English and all, but we are also regularly monitoring their progresses. And with this, we are hopeful that this program is going to continue till September 2012. We are hopeful that the children will definitely get benefited, and then they'll also be able to help to the cause, society in general. It all, when we do all these things, all these ventures, they cost money. And I say that for any sustainability, any sustainable development, you have to be financially comfortable. We have been trying to economize optimize our resources to be as trim as we can be and compete and make some profit so that we can bring those profit in this society only. Lanka IOC is Lanka first and IOC second. So that has been our motto, and that is going to be my motto for the time I'm going to be here. We would definitely be contributing to the society in whatever capacity we can. We would really love that we become one of the front runners to improve, upgrade the living conditions in Sri Lanka. Not only living conditions, but also to maintain the biodiversity of this country, which is a hallmark of this country. Because any development, when it takes place, it is normally at the cost of the biodiversity. We would like to contribute in this regards also. Another thing which I have it in mind, I have not been able to give a shape so far, and my previous speakers also have spoken about, is that we constantly look for something which can really save the energy. For instance, you must have seen our petrol sheds, they have got, at night, they have got illuminated with mercury vapor lamps, sodium vapor lamps and things like that, and they all put a lot of strain on the environment. The carbon emission is very much when the electricity is used. There are in the market now new kind of LED lights which may be costly at the initial stage, but will turn out to be much, much cheaper when they are used. They also emit less of carbon. They also consume less of energy. And when they consume less of energy, that means that they are going to be friendly to the environment. I would not like to take much of time here. And I would invite anybody, if he has got any question, to ask on these things. The last, I would thank this forum for inviting me over here and for me to express my views here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Subodh. How are we faring with time? 4:35. We have 3 more panelists to speak. We get on to next, Mr. Hiran Kure. Hiran is a well-known tourism personality. I call him the Prince of Pata. He headed Pata for 2 years, and I think he has a tremendous amount of experience having led this organization for 2 years. So he has a resource of knowledge in the Asia-Pacific region. And I would like to first ask Hiran about Pata, and does Pata give leadership to sustainability initiatives? Do they take it very seriously in the operations of their business? And Hiran being also, he's, as you know, the chairman of the Chetwing Group, who has a large number of hotels in Sri Lanka, and also they have ventured overseas now and managing some properties in Laos. Am I right, Hiran?
Laos, Vietnam.
Vietnam, and yes. And he also is the director of the Sri Lanka Tourism, and so he also could talk to us about how Sri Lanka tourism is following that path. Are we still at infancy? If not, if so, why? Over to you, Hiran.
Thank you, Prema. Thank you for the nice compliment given. Prince of Pata, I'll take that. First of all, I think I must congratulate all of you. You know, you guys have been very nice listening to all these speakers here, you know. Saturday afternoon, most of them I expected you to fall asleep, but all of you are awake, so well done. I must give you a bit of an applause. Yeah, Panta, to answer Prema's first question, I must say Panta took this initiative way back in early 1990s. That is what really converted me when we went to the Pata conference in Bali in 1991. And at that time, Prema, I don't know whether you remember, we had two very prominent Sri Lankans in Pata, Lakshman Ratnapala, who ended up as Sri Lanka's first CEO in Pata, who now lives in San Francisco, California, and also Renton Dialvis, who went on to be the regional head of Pata and also was the chairman of Sri Lanka Tourism here. So both of them were at that time actively involved in Pata, and it was at one of these conferences that Pata really spoke of the need to protect the environment. This was 1991, and at that time the same level of awareness was not in the world of tourism, or I don't think in any other industry either. So it was then that so that's why Pata can be very pleased that they took on this role before all these new initiatives took place. I mean, if you look at Jetwing Hotels, we are not certified by anybody, right? We are not certified, but if you go and visit our hotels, we'll show you the stuff we have done. And we do it and we just keep quiet. We use it for our own promotional use. The customers are happy. We take the customers around and show them what we have done. And why? Because we don't want to pay somebody and get a label. We have our own auditors. We use external consultants who come and very strictly audit what we do. And sometimes our managers consider them a pain in the neck because they come and, I mean, you know, we've stopped buying or minimized buying plastic. Even goods wrapped in plastic we try not to buy anymore. So we influence the others, even our suppliers, as much as possible. So that's the role. I mean, getting back to Pata, yes, Pata now, you know, over the last 20 years, we had a kind of a hit and miss run as well, because it also depended on the leadership, because Pata leadership changes every year, now every 2 years, the CEOs come and go. So it kind of, you know, because when the other associations came on starting doing it for profit, Pata took a back seat. But now back again, Pata is now back on educating the members, talking to them about the benefits of looking after the environment. And another thing that Pata is doing right now is, you know, we are lobbying very hard to stop this taxation. Now, I don't know how many of you are aware, but I believe most of you are accountants here. And especially in the UK, there is an air passenger levy. And air passenger levy, the UK taxes £80 per person long haul. So somebody who comes to Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Maldives Islands has to pay £80 a person to get out of London, just the tax only. So if a family of 5 goes out, you're talking of £400. That's a huge, huge tax, right? So it's all included in the ticket, airline ticket. And what's happening is that the British government collects the money and they say that is to look after the environment, and now the environmentalists are asking, what are you doing with that money? And the travel industry is also asking, you collecting so much money, show us what you are doing to the environment, right? So a lot of governments now, in Pata, by the way, is Pacific Asia Travel Association. There are 44 countries which are members. Governments are members of Pata. Some of the governments obviously cannot talk, you know, loud about it because they are beneficiaries from the United Kingdom and the European Union and so on and so forth. So Pata has taken the leadership in speaking about it openly in, at the House of Commons and many other places to at least to make sure that the 80 pounds won't get increased to 120 or 150 in the future, because 80 is implemented and I don't think they will now go back on it. Getting on to Sri Lanka, I'm sure Prema you remember the time Renton was the chairman of Sri Lanka Tourism, whom I consider as one of the better chairman of Sri Lanka Tourism we've had in the past, took on this Sri Lanka green lung concept and went on talking about it quite aggressively. Unfortunately, the mistake Renton made was he only spoke of greening Sri Lanka and did not talk of other aspects, especially at a time when Sri Lanka's tourism was struggling, when we were not making money, and there was you know, what do you do when somebody is dying of a heart attack? Do you tell the fellow to go and exercise? You should have not smoked. You should not have drunk alcohol. You just give the guy oxygen and, you know, make sure the fellow lives. So that's I think a mistake that we made at that time, speaking only of greening the country when the tourism industry was not sure whether they'll survive for next 3 months. I think now a lot of us are you know, focused heavily, especially companies like John Keel's, Atkins Spence, ourselves and a few others who are fairly well established in the tourism industry here in Sri Lanka, are focusing on getting renewable energy, for example, you know, taking this to another level. So hopefully our idea is that if we, some of the leaders in the travel industry